Hello everybody, welcome back to another Rockabilly guitar lesson. And I'm back with another request that I've received. Today I show you how to play the two solos in Boppin' High School Baby by Don Willis. And even though it didn't sell much when it was released in 1958 on the Satellite label, it's one of the best Rockabilly recordings, I think. Yeah, everything you need in a Rockabilly song. Crazy fast pace with heavy echo on it. And yeah, I just love it. I almost had the chance to play with Don Willis back in the early 2000s in Hemsby, but due to his bad health, he had to cancel the show some weeks before that. So I learned the solo back then, but I almost forgot everything, so I had to refresh it to show you how it's done. Boppin' High School Baby is in the key of C, or almost in the key of C. The original recording is something in between B and C, but let's face it, nobody plays a song in B, so let's make things simple and do it in C here. And the opening phrase of the first solo goes like this. You start here on the 10th and 11th fret, B and E string, to 8 on a B and E string, and single strings, 10 to 8 on the B string, same on the G string, and the D string, and then you finish here on the 10th fret A string for the first run. Let's do this again, slowly. And then the next part is guesswork, because it's really hard to tell what they're playing exactly with all the echo and craziness going on, but I think it's something like this. So if you like that, just follow along. Yeah? You play the D string 4 times, and then it's the G and B string on the 8th fret, back to the D string twice, 8 on the D string, 10 to 8 on the A string. Let's put this whole first phrase together. And then the chord progression moves to F, and you play this phrase here. So it's played twice, yeah? And I hold my whole F chord here, because then I could proceed the phrase with playing the root note here on the D string. So it would sound like this. And you can also play it a little dirtier or a little heavier with hitting 3 strings at the same time, you know, the full chord, if you do it like this. So it sounds like this. Yeah, but you can make things simple and just use the index, because the obvious notes are all on the E and B string. So you go back and forth between a regular F and an F7 that you get when you put your pinky onto the 4th fret B string. So the phrase goes like this. And then the chord progression changes to G, and you play. And again, back and forth between the index and the ring finger, but this time the index is on the 3rd fret and the ring finger on the 5th fret of the B string here. Except for the end, when the ring finger moves to the E string. So let me play this phrase again. Yeah, pretty straightforward. And then back to the 8th fret, and you play basically the opening phrase up till here. Then you proceed on the low E string and play. You can also mute the strings with your right hand, so it sounds like this. Might might be even nicer. Yeah. So you play the 8th fret, then the 10th fret on the low E string, and the last note is the 7th fret here on the A string. Then back to F, and you play the same phrase as before. And the chord progression moves to C, and you play a similar phrase that goes like this. And I just add the G string here at the end, so this is the advantage. When you play a full chord, you can strike any string, it still sounds good. Yeah, the pinky is on the 10th fret B string. Start with the 8th fret, both strings E and B string. And then just the B string on the 10th fret, both strings again, B string, 10 to 8, and at the end the G string. And again, it doesn't matter too much. You can hit more string if you like for a bigger sound. Then it goes back to G, and you play this phrase here. So you start on the 3rd fret, E and B string. Then you play 6 on the E string, 5 on the E string, and back to 3rd. Yeah? And I play both strings all the time, the B and the E string. And then for the second part of the phrase, you start on the 6th fret, 3rd, 5th, and back to 3rd, and then 5th to 3rd on the B string. Like this. And then back to C. Yeah, very similar phrase. Like this. So let's put everything together, starting with the second time you go to F. C, G, back to C. And that's it. And now let's play the full first solo slowly to the metronome at 120 beats per minute. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it for the first solo. And the second solo starts all the way up here on the 15th and 16th fret, E and B string, what is basically a C minor that you can play over the C chord for a more bluesy feeling. And you play it really fast like this. All the way over the C chord. And I slide into the chord like this. Then for F, I play the F7 on the G and B string. So this would be the 14th fret on the G string and the 16th fret of the B string. You play the phrase twice play the B and the G string. Now you have the pinky on the 16th fret and then you lift it off, yeah? I hope you can see that. And then back to G, that's the 15th fret on the E and B string. And this is the same phrase that you play in the first solo here on the, just one octave lower on the 3rd fret here, yeah? And everything after that is exactly the same as in the first solo, yeah? And then you can slide into the C. Yeah, if you play the D string at the end of the phrase, for a variation here. And that's it for the second solo. Yeah? So just the first part of the second solo is different, where you play. Then the F7. And then back to what you know already. As I've mentioned before, there is another way of playing the solo, and that's using the thumb picking or finger picking approach. So I use a thumb pick, or you can take a flat pick as well if that's more comfortable for you. And then the second part of the solo would sound like this. Totally different sound with more rhythm. So I play the bass on the E and D string with my thumb, and I mute the strings with my right hand here, just behind the bridge. Oops. And then with my fingers I pick out the melody, whatever it is, yeah? And if you like the Travis picking approach, that's how this technique is called as well, you should definitely check out my course that I have on Udemy. More than 90 minutes long. Everything you need to know to get started with Travis picking. And I have some links to the preview videos up here. And if you like what you see, you can enroll following the link in the description below for just €15. So that's it for Boppin' High School Baby. In the next lesson I will teach you how to play Blue Days Black Nights by Buddy Holly.